This was about 5 years ago, saying don't spray stuff in there to kill the grass. I don't, because vegetation will trap stuff.
So how many years ago was that?
That's when what's his
After
name?
Vernon.
The short older guy.
No, oh, that's precinct one.
Since then,
It's changed.
they have a six-wheeler that they go out, they spray the ditches.
Yep.
Okay, because they told me the same thing about spraying. Now, they figured out that it's a hell of a lot easier to spray the bottom of these ditches than just.
And this is the battle that I ran into was I can tell that that whole ditch from on both sides of my driveway, it doesn't have that flow like it should. So I called DD6. DD6 says, oh no, that belongs to the city of Bel Oaks. And when I called up at the office, they said, oh no, that's DD6. Well, then later on I found out it's county. So, but anyway, because
All the ditches that are prior.
Let's call the meeting to
just
order.
call the meeting.
We're at 8 o'clock, guys.
Mic's on.
Everybody turn the mics on.
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on.
Yours on.
I'm on.
Just push it one time.
Okay.
There you go.
The reason,
It's for minutes. All right, let's call the meeting to order. Let's do our pledge.
Pledge to the mayor, whatever she wants.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor to Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Who'd like to say the prayer?
I'll do it. Go ahead.
Lord, we thank you for this body of leaders. We thank you for our city. We thank you for all the protections and the benefits that you afford us here. We ask that you watch over us, give us the right information and the right words to speak. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Let's do roll call.
Bud Marandino, Ward 1.
Sherry Mitchell, Mayor.
Roger Manette, Ward 1.
Don Smith.
Jeff Tippler, Ward 3.
All right, Jim is absent, and we have a quorum. Any conflict of interest statement? Any citizens' comments?
None this time.
All right, we have a presentation by our CPA. Go ahead.
I'll start. My name is Roger Crowley. I'm with Marino CPA firm. Here to present the 24-25 annual financial report, audited annual financial report. First off, appreciate y'all having me out this year. I've known of y'all for a while as far as this realm goes. I do a lot of folks around y'all. I've been in the water and sewer business for a while as a board member, a consultant, and we audit quite a few. We've got a couple of small cities around here, China and Nome, and do some work with Pine Forest. And then I was out at the ESD meeting last night presenting their audit over here at the fire station. So glad to finally meet y'all and get out here and take a look at this. I know this year, as we discussed kind of at the beginning of the engagement, timing was going to be somewhat of the essence, as trying to be done earlier than what it used to be done. I know that y'all got some stuff y'all are looking for next month, so this report will provide y'all what y'all need for that submittal next month. Moving forward, I'm looking at rearranging kind of my client list so that I can have more time to do the ones that I want to do, and not so many of the ones that I don't want to do. We merged with Marino 18 months ago, and the previous owner of the firm I was at retired. I merged over with Jeff Marino, and so we're kind of restructuring some of our client list so that we can get some of these done in a timely manner, so that we can produce a better product, get to know the client better, and it's so forthcoming. We will have some space to open up as far as when y'all want yours done. It's 135 days after the close of the fiscal year. So that'll put us somewhere at the very beginning of next year. If y'all have a schedule, I mean, sometimes people say, I want it this month and this month only. It gets on the agenda. Y'all just let me know kind of towards the end of y'all's fiscal year that, hey, we're going to have you come out in this month, and we'll be out here in that month.
Great.
So having said all of that, each one of you should have a copy in front of you of your annual financial statements as of 9/30/25. If I'm going to start on page 1. It's got our letterhead at the top, and at the very top it says Independent Auditor's Report. The second paragraph there on that page states that in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, business type activities of the city as of September 30th, 2025. Technical term for that is an unmodified opinion. It's a clean opinion. It's the one you want. It basically states that we have been over the numbers that are contained after this letter, and we agree with them. The next thing I'm going to go over is page 4. This is your management's discussion and analysis. This is it's a brief synopsis of everything else you're going to find in this report. It's also probably the most legible portion of it. I always direct council members, board members to, if you ever have any outside questions about your financial statement from citizens, somebody that just wants to know, hey, how's the city doing? Direct them to this portion of it because it's the one that's the easiest to understand. On page 4, right there at financial highlights, those 2 bullet points, the assets of Bevel Oaks exceeded its liabilities by $9.5 million, which is your net position of this amount. $2 million may be used to meet the city's ongoing obligations. That's the unrestricted. The city's total net assets decreased by $268,000. We will go over those numbers in more detail in a couple of minutes. Thank you, sir. But in your MD&A, you can see there it says overview of the financial statements. It talks a little bit about how the financial statements are put together. And then as you move on to page 6 and 7, you can see that there are year-over-year comparisons. On page 6, that is called your net position. You'll see it looks a lot like your balance sheet. Gives you the activity individually between your governmental, your business type, and then total year over year. And then on page 7, you've got your change in net position. That's your profit and loss statement. As you can see there, it's broken out the same way, governmental, business type, total, and then year over year comparisons. On page 8, you'll have a year over year comparison broken out the same way, governmental, business type, of your capital assets for the city. There's a little bit of note in there about your long-term debt. Also, going forward, this would be the portion where if y'all as the council had something y'all wanted to insert into the financial statements for the reader, kind of, hey, here's what happened, or here's what we see coming up. Whenever it comes into, if y'all look at rate stuff that you want to produce to the, say, hey, we're looking at doing this, or we voted on it and we will be implementing this. We can put in a section here, basically on page 9, that will just say, economic factors coming up, or I know sometimes we'll have, y'all are familiar with it, I'm familiar with it, but if there's ever any natural occurrences that take place where we're going to get FEMA or something like that, this would be a section in there for y'all to kind of just give a note to the reader, here's what happened, or here's what's coming up. Starting on page 10, this is the beginning of your basic financial statements. This page 10 and page 11 are your balance sheet, your profit and loss statement. They're on full accrual. So it will include long-term activity. So you'll have capital assets on this, and you will have your long-term debt on this. As you can see there, again, it's broken out by governmental activities and business type activities and a total. Really on this, and this being first year, we're kind of getting to know y'all. Y'all are getting to know us and our processes a little bit. And looking at it, there wasn't a ton of activity that took place in the year under audit as far as for us kind of, big things would be, new debt, new big fixed assets, big projects going on, stuff like that.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Yeah.
What's the difference between the governmental activities and the business type activities? Is that city
Business type is
and water?
water and sewer.
Okay.
And then your governmental is kind of the
Okay.
administration side.
Okay.
And that'll get broken out a little bit later, and we'll go over that as well. But here you can see the city's got total assets 10.9, total liabilities of 1.4 basically. I'm looking on that far right column for totals. And then once you get down there to the bottom of the far right, you'll see invested in capital assets net. So that number is your capital assets less the debt incurred to pay for those capital assets. So y'all got 7.2 in capital assets less your debt. The restricted amount comes into some restricted accounts y'all have plus customer deposits that are required. So those are required to be shown as restricted. But your unrestricted is $2 million. On page 11, this is where some of y'all might find some notes in yours that I made early this morning. But I didn't flag that one that I made notes in, so I didn't see it. So this is your statement of activities, which is also your basically your profit and loss statement. Up there at the top, you'll find your expenses, and then down here on the bottom, you'll find your revenues. One of the things I wanted to note, so you can see, if you look kind of 3/4 over on the page, you'll find a column for governmental activities that foots all the way down, and it shows a negative 270 change in net position. One of the things I wanted to point out about that is y'all also have $296,000 in depreciation. So that 270 loss is not necessarily a cash loss. We had to record 296 in depreciation, which is a non-cash expense. The same thing goes for your business type activities. It shows a $2,000 profit. I think y'all had about 204 in depreciation on the water and sewer side as well. So I know that a lot of entities don't really take the depreciation side into effect whenever they're looking at budget stuff and stuff like that. So for me, it's not. Whenever I find a loss like that, the first thing I go do is go look at depreciation to find out what that was, because, like I said, it's a non-cash expense. But yeah, you can see right there your governmental activities expenses are up there at the top left. Y'all had 564 in those governmental expenses. The water and sewer expenses were 753. Water and sewer charges for services were 673. I noticed that y'all got the Techstar account, and that at the time of the audit, it had about 140, I think, in it. And y'all got a pretty good chunk of interest income off of that, which I'm seeing kind of across the board. Everybody's gone and put stuff in Techstar because of the interest rates, and everybody's getting a pretty good return on that. But as you can see here, so with those depreciations included, your change in net position is a negative 268. It gives you a total net ending position of 9.5 million. Also, if we want to look into that later on, we can get y'all schedules, depreciation schedules, and all that stuff. So, or whenever y'all start doing budget, if y'all just want to take the numbers that we had last year and throw that in there to your line items and budget depreciation, so y'all can kind of track throughout the year, hey, don't forget, we will have this on the back side of it. On page 12, this is your governmental fund balance sheet. So this is going to be just for the general fund. And this is not full accrual. This is going to be a lot more the way that y'all track things. Most small entities will track stuff on a cash basis. So you'll have, on here, there's no long-term assets, there's no long-term liabilities. It's only current. So also we pick up your deferred inflows of property tax here. It's just an accounting thing that we have to do to be compliant with governmental accounting. On page 13, this is a reconciliation of the governmental fund balance sheet to the statement of net position. It'll tell you everything that's in the statement of net position that's not in your governmental fund balance sheet. On page 14, you've got your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance for the governmental fund. This is going to be basically a cash basis look at what the city did for the year. As you can see there, we will factor in, this is where we would pick up any type of like capital purchase as an expense, any debt payments as an expense for the governmental fund. Here you can show you had a positive net change in fund balance of $16,500. The reason for that is because we don't pick up depreciation here. A lot of times you'll see this number be a lot different than the other one, because if y'all go out and buy a bunch of capital assets, it'll be expensed here, but it goes to the balance sheet on the statement of net position. I'll typically point this one page, that one statement out for districts, because that's going to be the one that we compare budgets to later on in the supplemental information, and it'll typically align a lot better with what y'all see probably on a month-to-month basis as far as whenever y'all are budgeting. Page 15 is just another reconciliation. So basically you get the statement of net position, and then the change in net position are your full accrual. After that, you get your governmental fund statements, and with those, there's two reconciling statements that show you basically how to get to those statements. The next two pages are basically just restatements of your page 11 and 12. We just break it out. Instead of putting it there in columns, this now has its own statement. So these two will align with page 10 and 11 on the business type activities. It's the exact same numbers. After that, you get a cash flow statement. Excuse me. And this will go into a little bit more. This is your cash flow statement is based off of your business type activities, also called your proprietary fund. This is the water and sewer. This is a required statement that is required for y'all's financial statements to show you just kind of another tool to use to kind of show where we started with cash and where we ended with cash. After that, you get to your notes. The notes, excuse me, the notes are basically going to be a more detailed version of your management's discussion and analysis. That starts on page 15. It goes in and talks a little bit about, again, kind of how the financial statements are built. There's a little bit of stuff in there about the city. It goes into y'all's cash balances. We go through, we look at all y'all's bank recs, we look at y'all's bank statements, we confirm bank accounts with the folks that are holding the bank, that are holding y'all's accounts. We confirm with them. It looks like y'all are pretty heavy in Stellar, so we reach out to Stellar, make sure that they've got pledged securities in case they go belly up. Y'all can get your money back out of them. We confirm that every year.
we're good on that so far?
Yeah, everything's good on that. And then a little bit in there about property tax, and then you'll get into your, on page 25, there's capital asset activity for the year, and it breaks it out between governmental activities and business type activities. After that, on note 6, we get into debt, and it just gives you an amortization schedule, shows what the city's requirements are for the next 5 years, and then we compile anything after that. And it'll give you kind of what happened during the year. You'll find a lot of these tables that'll give you the beginning balances, what happened during the year, and then the ending balances. After that, there's a little bit of a note about the copier lease that is part of GASB 87 that we have to start showing. After that, you get to your required supplemental information, which is page 29 and 30. This is going to be a budget to actual for your governmental and your proprietary fund. Earlier, I mentioned budget. The numbers that come from y'all's governmental fund for the budget to actual is from the previous governmental fund statement found earlier in the financial statements. Same thing goes for water and sewer on page 30. After that, there's a compliance section that's just part of this audit that we do. It's just a letter from us that states that we reviewed policies, procedures, we reviewed, we go over some testing to kind of see how the district handles cash, how they handle cash in, cash out. You know, with taxes being involved and sales taxes being involved, we go through and we look at, you know, we tie out a lot of that stuff from third parties. We'll contact the county, we contact the sales tax you can actually find online from the comptroller's website. And then we go through disbursements, we look at stuff like that. We go through subsequent disbursements to take a look to see if there's anything that was paid for after the year end that needed to be included in the year under audit. And then we go through, you know, all your fixed assets and your debt. So basically we hit everything on the balance sheet. We hit revenues, and then we do disbursements to cover, we do a random selection of disbursements to cover basically all the other expense categories. And then we look at payroll. Also, whenever you deal with a smaller entity, and I would consider this kind of a smaller entity, we have the smell test where you can just kind of go through and take a look at a P&L, and we've been doing it long enough where you can kind of go out and see if something sticks out and go in and dig into that account, find out what's in there, if it needs to be there, if it needs to be somewhere else. And that's, as I said earlier, kind of trying to get more of the ones that I like to do. These are the ones I like to do. I like to do the ones where you can have a smell test and look at it and kind of know, does it look right, does it not look right? And yeah, as far as this year goes, like I said, it's year one's usually the hardest because we've got to start from scratch. We've got nothing to go off of from prior year, and we just kind of dig in and find what we can get. So because we've got familiarity with, you know, other municipalities in the area, we kind of knew what to expect, what to look for. And I think going forward, there's y'all seem to be an involved council. There's others that we've got that have a lot of rotating seats. You know, we have one contact person that is always the one we answer to. But I also have ideas on how to take this to where, you know, at the end of the fiscal year or maybe right before, where I could come out and visit with y'all and get input from the board and say what concerns y'all, what are y'all looking for? Is there anything that, you know, y'all think we need to look at? Is there anything y'all are wanting from presentation to, you know, these financial statements or the city's financial statements? They're not mine, they're y'all's. The only thing that I've got in this report is that letter in the front and the letter in the back. The rest of this belongs to y'all. So we do have parameters we have to stay within whenever we produce them. But these are y'all's to produce to those that need it from y'all and also your citizens. So however y'all, if y'all have any ideas, it's something that I'm looking at implementing is having kind of 2 touch points with the board as opposed to just the presentation to come out kind of at the beginning and say, okay, you know, where are we? What are y'all looking at? And is there anything specific that y'all want me to take a look at this year that I could report back? Because this is my 4th one in 2 days, and it gets a little old getting up here and doing the same song and dance. And I would love to specialize it for each entity. Some of them are so small, they don't care, you know, just tell us we got a good report and let's move on. But with the smaller ones, there's also a lot of explanation that comes in with, you know, before I started doing this, I had no idea what this thing said. And I realized as I've done it over the past 15 years or so that sometimes people just want the budget to actual because that's all they care about, or they just want this one. And so we can spend a lot of time on that. But as we kind of get to know one another, I feel like we can kind of specialize this, still getting the product that y'all need to get it out to, you know, grant writers and all that stuff. But we could definitely specialize what we're doing for y'all based on what y'all see and what y'all need. Yeah, beyond that, that concludes my presentation of it. I don't know how I ended up in water districts, but I did. And so I've got all kinds of questions because I work with some of the other local ones, and I know that everybody's having a ton of fun with their providers, you know, the softwares that they're using, and everybody's kind of up in arms. And I've got a couple that are switching over to the one that y'all are using. And so I'm wondering y'all's experience with them, you know, with how y'all like that.
Specifically, Muni Billing.
Yeah, yeah. Because we've got.
She's the guru there on that.
They all have issues.
Is it Roger? Is it
Yeah, Roger.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has been an amazing presentation based upon reflecting the others that we've had.
Glad
It's
to hear
like
it.
you're a translator.
Well, I don't consider myself accountant really.
This is a foreign language to most
I understand.
present companies.
Yeah.
And you're explaining it in layman's terms, but I'm glad you like it because I don't.
I like puzzles.
Just
and
tell us
it's
when
one,
you have
Okay.
money.
it's one big puzzle.
Do we get a gold star or
Yeah.
needs improvement? I mean,
No,
this is-
everything. I mean, I could always say there's room for improvement.
There you go.
For everybody.
There you
But as far as I would say cleanliness is the way that I kind of refer to it. Yeah, it's clean.
Good.
You know, there's not a ton of what is this, you know, and we get into those where it's just, you know, you kind of slap your forehead and say this is going to take a minute because I got to go figure out what happened. But no, that's not the case here. It looks pretty clean, and one of the things that I do with my clients, because I do represent I've worked for a lot of small entities, and I have done it for 15 years, that they might come across something that, hey, what do I do with this? I'll say, just put it here. Like, I'll be able to find it whenever I get to it, or this is exactly what you need to do. And we base that on how they typically run their operation. Some people will keep their books on full accrual, and they'll be like, well, you know, we're doing this. And there's also the times where I say they're over accounting. You know, they're doing too much because I don't find it necessary. And typically I find that from third party hired CPAs that are working for folks that are, well, we need to make an accrual every month for this. I'm like, no, not really. Like, if the board doesn't need it, then they don't need it. I didn't find that here, but I've seen it. Typically, you'll find like a one-off bookkeeper that's working for some of these small little entities, and they'll go in there and they'll fill up a bunch of time doing all of this stuff every month.
I see.
And I'm just like, does the board know what you're doing? Do they care what you're doing? Or is it just you're sitting there doing it?
Busy work.
because-
Busy
Right.
work,
So
yeah.
you can work 5 hours, a week on it or something like that. But that's not the case here. That's just an example of some things that I do find. But no, I think here it seems to be running
have a-
pretty good.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
What do you consider miscellaneous income?
Paid.
That's
Do what?
probably going to be on
What page?
11. I'll have to break out y'all's trial balance to find out exactly what's in that number. I don't have it on me.
What page are you
It's listed several,
It's going to be on 11.
Could be like
11.
permits and things like that.
no,
There's 33 on page 11.
Yeah.
There's 15,000.
15,000 on the government, and on the business, 17,000.
That's the total.
but there's
Typically, it's going to
miscellaneous,
be, it's
there's
gonna,
miscellaneous income that's separate from that, and I was trying to figure out what,
anything that didn't fall into those top ones.
okay.
Um,
It's on page 14.
so that'll be in
Page
the,
14.
Yes, sir.
Also,
Yeah.
It's on several pages.
yes, sir. I can get
I was
Sabrina
just curious
that.
on what we consider miscellaneous, because we got everything broken down into everything. Miscellaneous, where would we get those funds from?
I mean, without looking at your trial balance, things that would typically go in there are going to be kind of miscellaneous fees on the water side that aren't sales. If it's not actual water sales that are taking place, sometimes you get tap fees, connect fees, stuff like that would go in there. And that's just in general. There also might be, some small, well, I mean, if it's on the governmental, so there could be,
You separated the governmental from the.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think what we're talking about right here is the governmental.
yeah,
So
it-
that 15,000 doesn't have anything to do with tax.
It would have to-
fees or anything like
Could be
the only thing I
park
can think of is there's some
Civic
small,
Center.
like rentals.
Yeah, when we rent out this
Park,
building.
Civic
Yeah,
Center.
that was
A
one
park.
of them. But I can get that, I mean, as soon as I get back to the office,
I
I
was
can
just curious on where we would get miscellaneous, because we have the doc for everything.
that. Where do we, maybe what you're trying to ask is, where's the money coming from?
Right, what-
In miscellaneous?
what lines make up that revenue line? And
Correct.
I'll get you that.
Okay.
And then, on page 11, public safety, we had $10,000 in public safety. What would that be from?
Oh, on the expense side?
Just on the expense side.
That's gonna be under governmental. Yeah, again, I'll just have to, because basically what we'll do is we'll have your trial balance and,
Didn't we, if it's in parentheses, did we not spend that? Is that what that means?
are you talking about right there, kind of 3/4 over on the right?
Yeah. we got
That
it.
is, so basically what that column does is you've got expenses right there on the left. That column you're looking at is the net, because you can get, as you'll see, like if you look down at the water and sewer, and it's got expenses right there, and then those 3 middle columns are income columns. And so that negative column is the net expense, because right there you've got like a capital grant contribution for disaster recovery of 3836. So that expense line item is reduced by that 3836, gives you a 9664, and then this column right there, if you'll notice, if you go all the way down, picks up your general revenues. So you've got all your expenses less operating grants, charges for services, capital grants. Those expenses up top, your income down below, and then it gives you your net right there at the bottom of the 270, 693. And I mean, these are questions I like, and because I do want clarity for the board of what this looks like.
Well,
These don't look like your regular QuickBooks P&L. That's, y'all probably review, or, a budget spreadsheet or something like that.
I'm concerned about this one on page 14. It says road maintenance, and it's got $40,670.
That was fiscal year ending 25. so that
25,
would've
yes,
been-
sir.
Yeah, last
Yeah,
year.
last
So it
year.
would have been 10/1/24 to 9/30/25.
Yeah. That's when we did the work.
Yes.
We did the road work.
So y'all did all the stuff, so that,
Yeah, but it's only 20. I spent less than what we got. What came into the road fund is the Entergy and
Franchise fees.
franchise fees goes directly into the road fund. And I spent less money than what went in there, as far as I know. But according to this, I spent.
I'll take a look. And it's, that's another thing that we do in year one, is that we're looking at, basically you call it a group trial balance. So you take all of your accounts and then you group them as into the numbers or the categories you see here. And so we're taking individual line items on your P&L and grouping it into these categories. So on a question like that, it could be that there's an expense line that was picked up in road maintenance that maybe should be up in
Such as
general
drainage.
government or something like that.
Is roads and drainage considered the same thing?
We don't have any fees for drainage.
Well, this
We-
would
we
be
don't
on the
have
expense side.
Fees, I'm talking about, we're talking about expense, not fees. We're talking about,
Well, that's what I'm saying, we don't have any expenses for drainage.
well, we could if we have to buy culverts. We bought some culverts for some people. We did spend some money in drainage in that fiscal year, right? I mean, we did spend money out of the city's funds for drainage, and if that's lumped into roads.
it
then
is,
that makes
it always
roads-
has been. I mean,
Yeah.
it is, it's supposed to be in that thing.
Roads and
Roads
drainage.
and
is on the
drainage.
same
Well, yeah,
line.
if
I'll
we saw
have to
culverts,
ask
it would go
Janet
into
about it.
roads.
I'll have to ask Janet. I don't know.
The last thing I
Well,
had,
it looks like, I don't see a drainage.
No, yeah. If I saw culverts, it would go into the roads.
yeah,
Okay.
it's always been that. My last one that I had is disaster recovery. We have a disaster. It's been
It's probably a grant.
Yeah, it's a grant.
We paid for it?
13,500. You got the grant contribution is, I'm still trying to, 3,800, but I'm still trying to figure out what disaster did we spend money on? We didn't have a disaster.
It could be left over.
The last one was a melt.
That if there were some,
Now, the last one was the hurricane.
So disaster recovery is grant expenses,
Yeah.
basically.
Sometimes we have to
yeah,
pay
it
money
would be
back
something that
to-
was spent out of
So
either-
it could be the ARPA grant, could be the road grant.
I was
don't
about to say
know
there's-
during that time frame exactly what grant it could be, but we still have grants that aren't closed from Harvey. So I mean,
How much longer are we doing that $1 million thing
For
from
life.
How many more years do we have that thing?
Yes, I think Jeff's right, 35.
So with some of these questions that's been asked, is there a way to put that in there so it shows a breakdown of, so we're not asking the same questions over?
for
For which one?
going forward,
Yes,
asking the
going
same
forward.
questions. Well, and what I can do is, before I came here this morning, I took notes in one of them, but if I know kind of once I get a feel of what y'all are looking for in breakouts, I could, we'll have a trial balance that's grouped. So, I could provide a grouped trial balance just to show y'all, here's the P&L that goes into each one of these. I always call them A and B. These aren't listed as A and B.
So that
but-
way we can see how things are being lumped together
Yeah.
and how that total is coming up and from where.
Right, yeah.
Our actual water councilman is over our water part of Public Works. He's not here today,
Okay.
so he would have had 45 minutes.
For T5?
Oh, yes.
45, okay.
He's not here.
Jim.
Well, and that's, like I said, that's kind of where I got started, was in the water district
Buds, too.
stuff. And I do Nederland, Meeker. I don't sit on the board for Northwest Forest, but I consult for Northwest Forest. There's a couple others. Let's see. Oh, and then you get wrapped up in China and Nome. They've got water and sewer. But yeah, so,
Because some of
the
us
WestJet.
are right on the board and draw a picture, you know, and breaking everything down and kind of, in a way, dissecting it, so.
Well, that is also a job of our accountant. When we do our budget, that will be have you been through a budget?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we do a budget meeting, then all that will be explained. And I'm just not remembering. Okay? I'm not remembering what was what.
so it
From the
sounds like
budget
if he's
meeting.
got 45 minutes worth of questions,
No,
he
he-
watches, I mean, typically.
He
whenever
does. He
somebody-
really goes over this
That
stuff.
knows exactly
Yes.
what to expect.
He asked our last
Right.
auditor some questions, and
That deer in the headlight
he
look?
just went,
Yeah.
Well,
you know.
it's hard to be prepared for everything. I
well,
can tell you that much.
he wasn't, you know, it was general questions like you've
Right.
answered, like you said that, you know, I always answer the question, if I don't know, I'll have to find
Yeah,
out, right?
yeah.
I mean, so that's what you have
Yeah,
to do.
I'm
So
not-
far, the direction you've taken is
Positive.
definitely in a positive direction, but you're, you know, where we can feed you information like, this is really what we're,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
mean, because like I said, I don't,
we don't want to
I've
assume
done
anything.
it. I mean, I've got, you know, half the ones I do, I can sit there and it's deer in the headlights up there, and I could just as well turn around and give my presentation, and they just assume the same thing. So, and like I said, it's getting to know the client and knowing what it is that they're looking for, and you know, finding out who it is that wants the information, who doesn't want the information. Sometimes it's the attorney for the district that the district doesn't care. The attorney just wants to know, hey, because they're the ones that are watching everything. So,
Well, our city's broke down into, we have councilmen that are responsible for this, and councilmen responsible for this, so we try to watch
All of
over
it,
what
yeah.
we're spending on that.
Yeah.
And I speak just for myself and a couple of more, but we're very feeble with the money. I mean, we don't waste it. We try to get the best.
being in the area y'all are in, y'all all been through stuff where there's been moments in this room that are probably like, what are we going to do? So, you know, we had the same sitting on the little one over at Northwest Forest. I used to live out there, and so I was a board member. Well, then I moved. I had to get off the board, but I didn't want to get completely out of it. So I said, I'll just come be y'all's consultant. And, you know, whenever you go through stuff that makes you realize, like, we got to really make sure we're here to take care of this.
That's right.
And, you know, y'all have a $2 million unrestricted net position, which is not a bad spot. So, and that's, whenever you find a water and sewer district with that, you know, because the majority of y'all's money is in the ground. And you know, you're constantly having to feed water systems and repairs and all that
That's
stuff,
right.
extension of lines. And so, you know, y'all do have, you know, you got $5.5 million in assets for the water and sewer. So,
But that includes generators and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah.
You know, I
That's-
mean,
it's
that's
not
not
just in the
something we
ground.
can,
Right.
that's not something we can spend.
no, exactly. But, you know, y'all got infrastructure there.
Mhm.
And even with all of the infrastructure, you still got $2 million in unrestricted net position. One of the things I will typically kind of point out, once you wipe all that stuff out, you know, 2 million unrestricted net position, it sounds great. Whenever you get to, and this is really just your governmental fund, so that's, but if, so on page, yeah, I mean, it's still about the same. So a lot of times I'll point out, like, your governmental fund has an unassigned fund balance of 626,000.
That's on what page?
That's on page 12. So that's on y'all's administrative side. That 626, that's usable fund balance.
Mhm.
That's it. That's kind of that's the bucket that a lot of folks will watch on the administrative side. Now, on your water and sewer side, you have an unrestricted net position of 1.2 million. So that's on page 16. But that's also going to take into account the capital assets and the long-term debt and stuff like that. But even once all that stuff washes through there, you've got unrestricted of 1.2 there. You've got an unassigned fund balance of 626. So, you know, y'all are in a good spot, and I can see that with growth of that, you know, one of the things which I know y'all are probably painfully aware of, but sometimes I have to remind small government boards that this is not a for-profit entity. You know, that your citizens, your constituents, your customers, whatever it is, they don't want to see millions of dollars just sitting up there in the government when, you know, they need X, Y, and Z. And so there's ways that sometimes we get into that, like y'all got committed for roads. So that's a way to kind of pull out of that number where somebody's going to come in and say, well, what's your unassigned fund balance? Like, well, it's $1 million. You're like, what are y'all doing with it? You can pull that out and commit it or assign it for future projects, stuff like that.
This committed for roads, $142,585. That's after the $40,000 that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, then that answers my question, because that means we grew.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want our road fund to grow.
Yeah.
Because we have run out of money before in roads.
And I mean, that's the feel I get, is it's a very conservative, watching the dollars from the council. And with that in place, you know, typically you see financial growth. So then you throw in the water and sewer side. I know that kind of can get all over the place sometimes, but
we have to deal with catastrophes out here, and I'm gonna tell you, you know, $2 million in the water fund can be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, could have been gone with this storm that just came through here.
I hear you.
And we don't want to. I don't want to be sitting up here, and the people don't have any water, and we're like, well, we don't have any money.
Yeah.
You know, so we do what we can to build that balance up. We need that balance in there for water. And some people say the water bills are too high. You need to lower them because you got all this money. That's not a lot of money.
Right.
When you got to replace three.
Well, and
three
one of the
motors.
things that I've done is, so I was taking basically our water and sewer cash balance, and I went back because over next door where they got hit the hardest was Harvey. And so I was in the neighborhood at that time, and I said, how long were we down? What did we not get $1 in the door? How long did that take? And I think it was 2.5, 3 months maybe. And I said, okay, well, here's what we're tracking in expenses on the water and sewer side per month today. And I said, Harvey was, you know,
The worst of
6.5, 7 feet in my house. So I said, let's plan for that, and let's make our reserve however long we think we could be down if we've got 8 feet of water in our house. And once we got to that, I was able to show, like, okay, well, this seems like we're rainy day funded.
Yeah, that's
So-
a soft cushion there.
Right. So now what do we do with the excess? And then, you know, we had similar ideas. Let's go stick it in a high yield savings, Techstar, something like that. Well, then you're starting to crank in 30, 40, 50, 60, $80,000 a year in interest.
We've done that.
That you can continue to start put in some of these rainy day funds. I did notice that, you know, versus Techstar versus y'all's operating, your operating is a lot more than your Techstar. And,
Correct.
you know, I came from next door last night, and they're the exact opposite. They've got everything in Techstar.
I believe a lot of that has been moved since you've done it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. we
And that's really one of the
The
one
gentleman
thing-
that's not here is our fiduciary,
Okay.
and he's recently moved that over, a lot of it over. I'm not sure how much he moved over.
Budget.
Yeah.
But it's going to, your next audit's going to show a different photograph.
And that's really one of the few things that I saw, and depending on my meeting with the council tonight, or today, and it's usually tonight, but that was one of the few things that I saw that I thought might be a suggestion, if y'all were open to it, was.
We failed to get that money invested the year before. It just didn't happen, and it should have happened, but it has happened. So we can't fix, you know, we can't go back. We can only go forward.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I mean, that's really, it's just up to y'all and y'all's comfort level of, I like having cash available, because we were doing a ton, and then all of a sudden, I'm getting phone calls from our operator saying, I need to transfer 25 grand, 30 grand, we got bills, we got this. And so we kind of leveled ours out as well, to hang on to a little bit more in operating, but we still have a good chunk over in the high yield savings. So with the rates the way they are, I always want to see people take advantage of, because I'm sitting here looking at it where they were getting $3,200 a year in interest, and now they're getting 80 grand.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Correct.
like, that's a big
That's a
hit
big lift right
for
there.
these small.
Ours was
entities.
bigger than that.
Yeah.
It will be bigger than
Yeah.
that this year.
So, and that's free money. So,
Thank you.
Did a good job.
Yeah, the last one was painful to sit through. Oh,
I do have the questions that were asked. I have them starred. I'll email you.
I've got one too. If you'll email it to me, that way I can put it back in a kind of a numbered situation to get those answered.
I think this is my 8th one to sit through, and this is probably my first one that I actually could
Okay, wait for it.
understand.
There we go. Well, I mean, like I said, it took me forever just to figure out how to read it, then to produce it. And then even after producing it for a while, I was like, I know where the numbers came from, but as far as what it means, so it's, I do, I've got 26 right now.
Yep.
So I do
Always
26 a year
All due
for,
respect. Or bless his
you
heart.
know, 15 years. You can kind of get used to
This is mine.
to what they are and what they mean. So, but yeah, like I said, another thing I'll always offer, if anybody has any questions, obviously y'all got some that we can revisit. But if y'all ever have any questions throughout the year, y'all want me to come back out and say, hey, we're thinking about this, we're thinking about that, opinions, anywhere I can chime in. I can't make management decisions, but I can offer what I see.
yeah, the 6-month tune-up.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, we typically go through.
Yeah,
That's
perfect.
our contact.
Works for me.
All right, let's move on to our action items.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
All right, up for review, approval action items, consideration, discussion, and approval of approving the audit.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, our next item up for discussion and approval is transaction for the equipment for the Public Maintenance Department. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion?
Yes.
What is it?
Basically, it's everything that's in your packet. We've already approved the budget, now it's basically approving the equipment.
You're approving this?
Correct, we've already approved the budget, now we're approving the equipment.
Well, there's a trailer in here.
There's 2 trailers in here.
One's to pull behind the golf cart, and one's for if he has, if he's using his vehicle or a different vehicle. There is a trailer here because you're not going to be available all the time. He has to have
His
somewhere
own stuff.
to put the brush and other stuff that he's hauling. That's why I
You
said
can't put brush in a van.
Well, this smaller trailer here is
the one from
suitable.
Tractor Supply.
No, yeah, the one from
Yeah.
Tractor Supply is suitable for the golf cart or the van.
Well, if it'll pull it, that's fine.
Absolutely it will.
Is it big enough to put a whole bunch of brush in?
Well,
I don't think it's
5 by
big enough.
8, I would think.
5 by 8 is
trailer are y'all
small.
looking at?
It's the
Right
one
here,
on the
Roger.
very, very back page.
This is for the golf cart. This would be for the van or whatever.
Is this
it
gonna,
is.
is this gonna have to be licensed? Have a license? plate on
Tractor
it?
Supply usually comes with the title.
it's gotta be, it's a titled
Usually.
vehicle.
I never
Title
got one.
vehicle.
I have almost the exact same trailer, and you can put a lot on this trailer.
Yeah. I do
And the
too.
golf cart will handle it as well.
Yes, I can hook mine up
Well,
to
if the
them.
golf cart will handle it, that's fine, but I didn't know if the golf cart would handle something that big or not.
And I'm with you on that, except I think you should get a bigger trailer. Because you never, when you need one, and I know, Bud, you're not always gonna be around. Neither am I. I got 5 trailers. You and I are trailer happy. But,
I got one in mine. I got 2 in
I
mine.
mean, we got trailers around for sure.
It's 5 by 8. I mean, it's a full sheet of plywood. And if you visualize that, if you need more than that, then you're gonna need some more help. Because you can put a lot of stuff on a 5x8.
What would we need a bigger one for, like, for what
For
type
one
of
guy.
items?
You just never know.
Yeah,
I'm one of those guys that you never know. You
Well,
just
true.
never know.
I know that y'all didn't, or that y'all said y'all didn't want a trailer, but y'all did a $2,500 budget.
It's
It's
within
gonna be a
budget.
little bit over, but
My first
I'm gonna keep
recommendation
pushing
would
for
be
it.
to take off the Hallmaster and
the
take off
small
one of the batteries and
Okay.
one of the chargers. We don't need 2 chargers and 3
Yeah.
batteries.
Jeff's right on the charger. We've got chargers listed twice.
Okay, so take off the little trailer and what'd you say?
I'm
The
making a
batteries
recommendation that we take off one of those chargers.
And one battery.
In one battery.
Yeah.
Are they the same? One says 80 volt, one says 40 volt.
They're both, yeah, they will charge both, but take off the $59 one.
Yeah, I agree.
Where is the 59?
First
Very
page, Bud.
First page, very top line item.
And I would certainly recommend taking off one of those batteries.
Okay.
Make that 2.
Well, that's what I was asking is which battery? You got a 80?
No,
Got it.
it's a dual
This-
voltage.
it's
It
dual
literally,
voltage.
it'll run, I've got this same system.
So you got 3 batteries
We're
listed.
taking one
Right.
off.
So you're gonna have 2.
Yes.
At 250 apiece.
So if we take all that off, then
You're still in your
everything
budget.
else and the trailer should be within the 2,500.
Where are we gonna store the trailer?
Well, it can go at the sewer plant underneath the awning down
Put it
there.
in there.
There's a trailer under the awning.
Put it in
There's-
there.
No, we moved it out. I pulled it
There's
out.
fixed stuff on the equipment bolted down. I mean, on the trailer is bolted down.
Well, I moved it out. Somebody put it back.
It's still, there is a trailer there. I don't know
There
if
is.
that's one that
Wesley-
you moved or not.
Wesley
There's
looked
one
at it,
under the
but-
awning?
Wesley looked at
on
that
this
trailer down there,
we're-
We're
but
taking one
the
off.
stuff that's on
Mine
Yeah,
it
it's got a
is.
bolted,
Yeah.
I mentioned it last time and Jim said, absolutely not,
The reason we're
because
doing
there's a
voltage
pump on it that
is
we
because the pulse hole is only
could
40 volt.
or made.
There's a fuel
So it
tank
does
under
both.
it.
I mean,
That's
Jeff's right. I mean,
one
I
of the
do
problems.
stuff
It's built,
underneath.
there's that bottom of that
So-
plat, that equipment's sitting on, that's a diesel tank.
There. I
Yes.
think you ought to go more on string. If y'all
Well,
are gonna
it's-
use this stuff,
I accidentally
I need
did
more
one not
string.
to.
One is, I mean, we can always add more.
Yeah.
That's
we'll go
fine.
ahead and since you're taking
Say
off,
ma-
I'll go ahead and add it now. I mean,
Say
it's
3.
$14.
Yeah,
You need at least 3
all right.
3 what?
3 of string.
stringers.
Mercy sakes, we're not going into the lawn business though.
Yeah.
200 feet is nothing.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
can roll
so,
through that.
so let me, no, okay, I've got a question about the whole process here. If we get one roll of string, or if we get 2 rolls of string, and we find out later we need another roll of string, do we have to bring
No,
that string purchase to council and have that validated?
no, because then it becomes part of day-to-day operations.
Okay,
We're just basically working off the budget that you guys already approved. Now we're approving the equipment.
but within that limit though, we've approved $2,500 or something like that?
Yeah.
Let's say what we purchased today rings the bell on 2,500. The next $14 would now make it more than that. Would we have to vote to replace that budget with a higher one?
I think that's like buying paper and pens.
I agree.
Day-to-day operations.
I agree, and I would love to see something written for this new procedure that we're following.
It's not new.
Well, it's not new,
It's not new.
because
It's
the
not new.
city's been running. The city's,
It's not
just-
new.
the office has been operating.
The procedure that we just came through, not particularly for this, but the procedure we just came through is new.
So
Yes.
on the trailer, none of these trailers come with a spare. You have to buy that additionally. I suggest that we have that and where it's an amount to put it on the trailer if something arises with a flat.
So these 2 things on the bottom of that
I personally
Tractor
have
Supply
never
page,
changed
you've got
tire.
the spare tire and the tongue jack, because it does not come with a tongue jack.
Well, with the stuff that's been taken off, I think it's still gonna be
That just needs to be added
at
too, I
least
believe.
within the budget.
I've had, yeah, unfortunately, I've had to
Mine
change a
sits on a
tire.
cinder block.
So we're gonna add these 2, the tire and the jack.
This ain't like
bottom.
a car though.
Yeah.
Tire and jack's gonna be $170.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we took off $259 for one of the batteries, or $249 for one of the
And
batteries.
then
Took off
60.
$150 for the Hall Master trailer.
Yeah, I mean,
took
we
off-
took some stuff off.
Yeah, there's still plenty
Took
there.
off another 59 for a charger, so.
Added a roll of string.
That's $15.
So do y'all agree with purchasing the spare tire?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
I don't think we need, I'm just saying, I don't think we
We
need a
don't,
trailer.
yeah, we
But
don't need
that's okay.
buy a jack or anything like that, because I'm sure that maintenance guy's got a jack in his truck.
No, this carry-on trailer, it
That's a
attaches.
ton.
That's a
It
ton
attaches.
jack.
That's a tongue lift. That's
Oh.
so I can,
So
that's
we
so the
need to
hitch
drop
won't
it.
sit on the floor.
Yeah, that's what you want. You do want that.
We put a
And
block
it
on it.
swings out of the way, it looks like, too.
Yeah, it does. It
Okay.
pulls and it does like that.
But-
You do want that.
Do need to fund, there is, the bracket to hold the spare tire is gonna be a separate charge. They're usually about $50, $30 to $50 at Tractor Supply.
They have the same at Harbor Freight, I believe.
Yeah, they do.
I don't think you need a spare.
I think you can come up here. and
Or
get
you
the
can store the
spare
spare up here somewhere
Yeah.
or whatever, but.
instead of
Or
putting it
if
on
he
the
needs a spare,
trailer.
it becomes day-to-day operations.
It's gonna be used out here, so wherever you're at out here and you have a flat, you come up here and get the
But-
thing. Are we gonna buy an impact and some wrenches and stuff to take the
We already have,
lug nuts on?
battery operated stuff like that. We already have a drill and stuff.
This is funny stuff.
I do want,
Flat repair kit?
we need to figure out how we mark all this equipment
We
that
have
says
asset
property of
tags.
city.
We have
Huh?
We have
asset tags.
assets
Okay.
tags already.
Most of our equipment that we have at the office already has asset tags.
Awesome.
And I have a spreadsheet with what asset tag goes with
That
what.
is awesome.
All right, any more discussion?
Who makes Atlas?
Harbor Freight.
Atlas, they sell it. Atlas is an entity of its own. I've tried to find it elsewhere, but they're the sole marketer of it.
Any more discussion? All in favor of purchasing the equipment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye. Simply because I don't think we need a trailer. So, but that's okay.
All right,
I agree to disagree.
all right. Next item up for consideration, discussion, and approval is the use of the event center by a citizen for the garage sale and links for charity purposes. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
What charity?
Basically, the Gallaghers reached out to me a couple months ago, asking for use of the Civic Center, and the charity was to help raise funds for one of their relatives, from my understanding. Now, this is a couple of months ago. What they asked me was, could we waive the fees? I told them at my level, I can't do it, it has to be brought to council. So they have their application here with the dates and everything, and they are looking to have the fee waived.
We have done it before.
Correct, we have,
Have we?
but I'm not going to make that decision.
So this is to help out a family member.
They live over on Niagara.
I'd kind of like to know just a little more about the charity.
We did it for somebody for the fire department. They brought a bunch of stuff in here. They had a garage sale. Somebody was sick at the fire department, or their husband was diagnosed with something, and they wanted to do a garage sale. They brought all the stuff up here. They set it up to sell, and they made some money, and they loaded it all up and cleaned it all up, and they were out of here.
And so my 2 cents is I love the whole overall. We just want to make sure we're not opening a can of worms. If somebody says, well, I'm low on bill money this month, can I use this place to raise some more money?
Well, that's
So-
why it's coming to council.
But we still haven't answered the question as to what the charity is. And that's my only holdup. I have no issue with the charity, but I'd like to know about what this is going to fund.
Well, we're not gonna have time to do that.
It's on there.
because It's.
Sabrina, do you
This-
think
they're
it's
gonna
too
use
early
it
to
the
call
10th and
them?
the 13th.
We're going to call the Gallaghers. Hold on a
Yes,
second.
let's
See,
do that.
that way we can clear up that,
Yeah.
You gotta do it now?
790-800.
She has your number.
Oh, she has my number?
I don't like giving my number out to citizens.
Oh, so I need to take that down off of Facebook?
I gave it to that guy with all the junk over there.
He don't understand English. If he calls
He
me,
does
I'm
now.
gonna be like, okay, I'm calling the police then.
He understands
He
English now,
understands
and I'm fixing to go over there and see
So I
if
need
he's
to,
moving that stuff.
what are we doing with this?
Well, that's the
What?
next thing on the agenda.
That's the next thing on the agenda.
Just ask. You snapping at me?
You gotta vote on it.
Are you familiar with that,
That's
Mr. Rogers?
cracking that whip.
She is, she's something.
I have to sometimes.
Roger, do you know about that guy that dumped the stuff over there, and then we called him, and they found the name of his company, and how
No.
much he charged for rental, and they dumped a dumpster on Riverbend.
Yeah, the one right over there, really? I saw the pile, but it was on that guy's driveway. What happened there?
I called him, and he didn't speak any English, but he understood
speak
police,
English.
and he understood ICE. And I told him that, we will give you till tomorrow at noon to get that out of here. And then
Where did he haul it from?
From Concord, a job on Concord. Correct?
And how did you get his information?
Because the receipt that he billed the people for was
You ever
on the
heard the
thing
song,
in his company name. No English until he called me back, and then he spoke good English.
Oh,
I
really?
was like, man, you speak
That's
some good
amazing.
English.
You ever
now."
heard the song Alice's
F
Restaurant?
word quite a bit, but
Goes through the whole deal where he threw a piece
Neither
of
one
trash
of them
at the
answered.
bottom of
No,
of a
they both
ravine.
went to voicemail.
Okay.
So-
I called him 5 times. He answered the phone. That was his
job.
first mistake.
Good job.
Just to prove this, guys. I mean,
Yeah, I
we-
mean,
if we
it's-
find out it's bogus,
Then we'll
fool
know
me
for the
once.
next one.
It'll be a
Shame on you.
lesson learned. We've
Yeah.
learned lessons before.
For variances.
We've given variances to people to put trailers on a place where they were gonna build a house, and we made it a year and found out that they weren't doing anything. We should have done 3 months.
So I see on here, Friday set up 8 till, was that 1?
No, it
Till-
just says 8 a.m. till.
Till Saturday, 8 a.m.
So
Sunday,
10th,
1 to 4.
11th, 12th, 13th, that's 4 days.
Actually, set up on Friday,
It's
Saturday, and Sunday is 3
Sunday.
days.
3
She said
days.
10th through 13th, but time of event, she said Friday.
Sunday is a
Saturday.
clean out.
So Friday and Saturday.
I'm good.
Well, they did it in the day, the last one. They hauled the stuff in here that morning, set it up, or maybe that night, I don't know, but it was done and
Well, can we
done.
at least get a cleanup deposit and hold that check and make sure it all gets cleaned up? Charity or no, we don't want to be out anything. And if they don't clean it up, we've got to pay somebody to come do it. So I think we can waive the fee, but I honestly believe we need to at least hold a check for the cleanup
And we're
deposit.
gonna have to try it.
I'm just ready to move on with it.
Can we decide on that? Anybody?
I just say, look, prove it and let them go. I mean, and
I'm only one voice.
we got a trailer now, and we got a guy on duty.
Got a maintenance guy.
He's got a
Anything
blower, he
needs
can
to
blow
be
it out.
hauled, He's
Blower.
gonna have,
Yeah, I have nothing
he has a
against
spare
charity.
tire. If he has a flat, he has a
Can we
spare.
send him over to
Okay.
my house?
Well, let's take a vote then.
All right, all in favor of approving waiving the fees for this event, say aye.
I got one more question.
Oh.
Are we gonna license that trailer
You have to.
You have to.
to
Yeah.
use it out here? Now, would we have to license that cart? No.
So
Yeah,
that's a
there's
good,
not a
that's a
title
good
to
question,
that.
because as long as, if we're using it
Hold
in
on,
this,
let's-
within the
Any
city,
opposed on approving this?
We got something else going on.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
But let's finish
Yeah,
this
y'all
one.
have the motion on the table. Y'all
Yeah.
have to decide.
All in favor of approving this waiver of the fee of the event center, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Don, what were you saying?
No, I was just.
Oh, okay.
um,
Let's do our last item. Consideration, discussion, and approval for the resolution to decline accepting cash within the city. Can I have a motion?
Make that
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, let's have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Wait, before you do that, I want to make a quick comment.
Okay.
And so you,
Yeah, and I've got a comment as well.
okay, the question on the license plate, what was your question again?
Why do we need a license plate on that trailer if we don't have a license Platelet golf cart. We don't have, I mean, if he's gonna use it for,
Because if he has
Just-
to go to Ritter or something.
just
he's
for
gonna
out
have to
here.
have-
Yeah,
if he what?
If he's gonna have to go to Ritter or something to get some kind of material or
You'll have to
something,
have it licensed.
You have to
Yeah.
have license.
We're not gonna use a golf.
But if
cart.
we got the van, why
It's
can't he
for
store stuff
debris.
in the
Do we
van?
have a van?
Well, if we purchase the van, then he can store stuff in the van.
You wouldn't have to pull the trailer down the river. I can't imagine, you know, if you gotta go get a piece of plywood, I'd slide it in that van, or slide it in the truck.
Is there an astronomical cost to doing that or something?
I just got mine
No.
for that exact same trailer, and
It's
it's
$75.
Yeah.
for the
It's
license.
$75, it's every year.
every year.
Yeah, I know,
And,
I got
you
6
know,
of them I do.
My point is I just don't think the trailer's gonna I don't think we're gonna see that trailer all over the city of Val Loves hauling debris. If we do, then we're gonna really be opening up a can of worms. We have a contractor that's supposed to be keeping the part of that clean.
Yeah.
Well, he leaves
Um,
limbs at the bottoms of the trees, so I mean.
Well, those
I
limbs.
guess if we ever need it, we can get it. But we're gonna have a title, we gotta transfer, because that is a titled
Get the
vehicle.
license plate.
Which is
I
gonna
just-
come with
So
the
maybe the
license.
first year we may have to, but if we don't have to, let's just not. Because I know it's a titled vehicle.
Well, isn't it like any other city, if we license it under the city, it's
It's tax exempt.
I mean, it's
tax
tax
exempt?
exempt, but I'm
It
not sure
should come
about
with
the
that
rest.
kind of plate, so then he would be able to drive it down the
Well, it's gonna be tax
highway.
exempt from there. So
Mhm.
that, what they used to do on trailers was, when I would buy trailers every year and sell them as a write-off. Anyway, what they used to do was just sell me the trailer, and I went down there to register the trailer. Well, I didn't. So, you know, the title, I never registered them. I mean, I sell them trailers with no title,
Um,
and just swap it.
I do it just for insurance purposes, so if it gets stolen or whatever.
my comment is, I'm not, this Atlas stuff coming from Harbor Freight, this Chinese stuff and all that kind of things. I know you guys, it's just, I'm not in favor of this Atlas equipment, because it's just not.
Well, I don't think it's gonna get used anyway, but
Yeah, I
We'll
understand,
have
but it's just that, he needs.
We just need to make sure that this guy's not doing something that we're already paying the contractor to do.
and that the county's responsible for it.
So in front of you, you'll see the new windshield stickers. You can have as many as you want. I encourage everybody on council to set an example, and let's identify our vehicles. The rest of them are gonna be at City Hall, and we're gonna put an announcement out on, you don't want one, bud?
No, I don't think I'd stick that on my bed.
Cool.
So these will go to the City Hall, and we'll put out an announcement on Facebook to say that you can come get as many as you need, as many vehicles as you have. Because once we wear the same, if we're all on the same team and we're wearing the same shirt, then it looks more united.
We get him a shirt.
So
Go to Academy, this is where we got our shirts, and I'll go put you on the label.
I wouldn't let them put my car wash sticker on my.
Y'all gonna adjourn the meeting?
I did
I
a
made a
motion and
motion.
he seconded.
Well, then
No.
Dawn said, hold on. before
Yeah.
we
We're done
adjourn,
this
so.
time.
so is the meeting adjourned?
Meeting adjourned.
Okay.
Who said
Drop
that?
the gavel.
I said that.
Mike's off.
Yes.
But they ain't gonna never use it anyway.
Mike off.
Would you,
Stream is ended.